are now listening to Lauer Road Radio.
Let's get it.
What?
At Tanagra. Microphone, there we go. At Tanagra. You think I should just restart?
No, just go with it.
Let's just do it.
It's too late.
When the walls fell. This is Dan Owings coming at you another time for Lauer Road Radio with Jason, my co-host, as always. Jesse is here doing what Jesse does.
All nicked up, baby.
Our resident Shane Gillis impersonator. Preston is on the ones. Nope, he's not on the ones and the zeros.
No,
he's the czar of information.
Yeah.
I was distracted because I was trying to think what celebrity does Preston look like?
Doogie Howser?
Yeah, he's got a bit of a Doogie, maybe a little bit of weird grown-up Haley Joel Osment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you know,
I can
like
see
that weird in-between phase.
Do you guys know Doogie Howser?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
NPC or NPH. Oh, it's NPC. Hey, they got two things in common.
Stella is on the ones and the zeros, and we're here. I came here to eat grapes and record a podcast, and doggone it if I'm not all out of grapes. Let's do this. Jason, before we get started.
Daffy Down Studios.
This is the Daffy Down Studios. Yeah. If you can, go to daffydown.com.
The website's having some issues.
But, you know, it's all a marketing ploy to make you want it more.
Yeah.
You know, every time you go to check. I check every 15 minutes. But it is whether you can buy stuff or not, it's the Daffy Down Studios. And currently, until somebody outbids them, and then it'll be the Pepsi Studios or whatever.
And then also, we are on Spotify now.
Primarily.
Yeah. Well, not, yeah.
Weren't we always on Spotify?
Yeah, but we're hosted by Spotify now. So if you listen on Podbean, you're probably not listening right now.
And that's okay. So we're here to entertain you as always. Jason, do you want to do X stuff first, or I got something that I need to talk about? But we can do X stuff first.
Well, we'll do a couple X things really quick.
So, before you say the X things, I just want to announce today that I have, because I didn't know how to log in to my other account, I did open up an X account. So I have a new. I think my username is Dan Owings.
Oh, okay. You're just gonna dox yourself out like that.
And I'm probably gonna close it down tonight. If I'm being honest with you, it's a horrible place.
It is a horrible place.
And
I love it.
I saw like the first day I was like just scrolling for you. You know what I mean? Things that they suggest that I saw like 5 people die. For some reason they thought I wanted to see violent videos, and I don't like that. So there's other things on there that I don't care for. There's a lot of hate, and but something funny too that I'm going to talk about today. Maybe I'll just open up with that.
I know why your For You is like that.
Why?
Because you put your last name in your name, and they just assume like, oh, he's related to this Jason guy.
Oh yeah.
So
really? You think that's it? Yeah. This Jason guy? You think he's on the radar?
Oh, definitely.
X. Okay, so. I happened to be, I think, opening the account on the same night that Michelle Obama confirmed
that she's a man,
that she wouldn't be running for president.
Okay.
And I saw this from someone named Tiff Mood Nukes, and I don't know who that is. She might be horrible.
Yeah.
But she did say this. Michelle Obama confirmed he won't be running for president because that would interfere with his duties as co-pilot of the Millennium Falcon. And, you know, I just thought that was mean. I didn't appreciate that.
Did you like it?
Maybe, but honestly, what Michelle Obama decides to do and who he or she wants to call him or herself is a personal decision between her and her physician.
And her husband.
Or whatever they call it, right? So just because she transitioned to become a woman,
we don't even know.
We're pretty sure, but just because she did doesn't mean we need to. That's her decision, and we should honor that decision.
Yeah.
No, we should celebrate that decision. And so I don't really appreciate this sort of like crass joking about a decision that Michelle Obama has made. So anyway, it was actually pretty funny, and it did make me laugh. But I as fast as I got on, every once in a while I would just get on Twitter and I think I'm going to post something. And then immediately I was like, I don't have anything to add to the conversation as a whole. I got nothing to say. And I'm not interested in listening to what other people have to say. So as fast as I think it was about 5 days and I'm gone.
Well, there are some pretty good people out there.
I believe that.
Yeah. I follow a few of them.
But I just feel like I already have some pretty good people in my life. I don't.
Aw, thanks, Dan.
I don't really need more. So I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm
no,
good.
it's fine. I mean,
yeah. So
are you going to actually delete it or just not use it?
I'll probably just not use it.
Okay.
So
well, I think you should keep it.
Okay.
Just because.
I will delete the app, but I won't delete the account.
Okay. That's fine.
Is that
I'm
good?
just saying, like down the road.
There might come a day.
Yeah.
At which I want to promote something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
all right.
We've got one of the comments here is going to lead into what I want to talk about tonight. But about an hour ago, I said we're recording in an hour. What y'all got for us to break down? Skippy is a new follower. He's a new friend of the show. Skippy lives up north on Lake Erie. And I don't think Skippy fully understands the show just yet because he wants us to break down the East Palestine disaster
What's the question
happened
say?
a year ago. Here's a serious breaking news out of East Palestine. Controlled burn was unnecessary. Company involved wasn't even consulted. Toxic clouds and spillage was entirely avoidable. So he wants us to break that down.
Sometimes spillage is not avoidable.
That's true.
I have spillage all the time.
Right. So we can break this down. It's it's like
the Mexican
it's like
squirt.
you didn't know that Jesse was in the toilet ahead of you. Like you were unaware and you thought it was a safe situation. Maybe the water's a little low, but everything should be fine. And then you're just going to go pee. And then you flush it and, the water level rises and there's nothing you can do. You're shaking the handle, trying to do something, kind of like sending it back with brain waves or something. And then the spillage happens. And sometimes spillage happens and it's not your fault. So I'm sure whatever the spillage was, whatever company was involved, I'm sure they're very sorry about it.
Do you even know this story?
No.
Okay, I know you don't follow any of this stuff. That's what I'm saying. Skippy doesn't get the show. But that's fine. Skippy's...
I'm helping Skippy understand the show.
Yeah, he's gonna listen. He's like, this is the last time I listen.
That's fine.
Colonel wants to know, we're missing the State of the Union tonight. Do you even care about it?
No.
I don't care either. Do you guys care?
I mean, today, America, great. Yeah, corn pop.
No joke.
No joke, man.
Don't jump.
Seriously.
Yeah.
No lies.
Yeah.
No, none of us care about that.
I don't care about the State of the Union address when I like the president. And it's been...
Since
Jimmy
1989?
Carter, I think, was the last president that I liked.
Ronald Reagan?
I love Jimmy Carter.
More than Ronald Reagan?
He's a peanut farmer.
I
love peanut butter.
I was thinking... peanut butter, man. It's great.
It's great, man. Yeah, peanut butter.
Yeah.
I decided to look up some of my old college buddies on Facebook.
How many
last
of them
night.
are women? No.
One. Well, he's half woman. He likes guys. but there's one that we were real tight. I mean, he even lived in my apartment
Same guy?
over the summer.
Yeah,
no.
same guy.
No, it's like...
Yeah. But me and this guy were real close. I mean, he lived in my apartment for the summer. He's from New York. And I was like, I knew he was a lefty.
Oh,
I was like, you know what? Maybe he's changed.
How did you know he was a lefty? Was it just
He would
personal
tell me,
experience?
just personal
things that
experience,
happened at the apartment
Still
that
writing
made
with
you
his left
new.
hand.
Yeah.
Like he was better with his left hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Maybe he's turned over a new leaf. And so I looked him up and went through his Facebook profile and scrolled down a little bit, and I saw some pretty left things. And then I saw a post where he said, literally, this all of his post, F Ronald Reagan. I was like, you know what? No, he hasn't. I'm not sending a friend request.
Maybe it was a movie thing. Maybe he just doesn't like the actor.
Yeah,
Ronald
the actor
Reagan.
Ronald Reagan.
Maybe. He also posted this video of a guy prancing around acting like Jesus. Pretty blasphemous. And I was like, no, this ain't it.
Okay.
So I don't know why I brought that up.
So
You said
you're
something.
pro-Jesus?
Yeah, I would say
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
Very pro Jesus.
Okay, that's fine. So Blob Boy, this will be the last one we do, because this leads into what I want to ask. He says, how are you, talking to me specifically, how are you feeling after eating an inhumane amount of tuna fish sandwiches. So the other day, Shelby sent me a text from work. She works someplace not here. And I don't know if I want to sell her out.
You've said it before.
She works at a Barnes & Noble in Poughkeepsie.
She's a librarian. And they catered in and had a bunch of Jimmy John's.
Okay.
And apparently huge catering boxes filled.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And so all of them were basically gone, except there's a whole box of unused, uneaten
Nothing wrong
tuna
with that.
fish sandwiches.
I love a tuna fish sandwich.
Listen, I do too. I love tuna fish sandwiches. So she said, "Would you eat this?" I said, "Yeah."
Have we met?
Does she even know you?
Do you even know me? And so she brought that home. And so I've been eating tuna fish sandwiches all week.
Okay.
And the other night I ended up, there's the equivalent of like 10 subs in there.
Okay.
So I've had like 3 or 4 tuna fish sandwiches.
Subs. Those are big.
Yeah, every night. And 2 nights ago, I had like half the box.
Tuna's expensive. Have you tried to buy tuna in a can lately?
No.
It's pricey.
Yeah.
So, that's a deal.
Yeah. I love tuna fish. So here's the question.
Okay.
Which tastes better? Free food or expensive food?
Assuming you purchased the expensive food.
Correct.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Preston's like dying to say something.
Free.
You think
all day long.
Free food tastes better than expensive food?
Yep.
I feel like expensive food tastes better, but it's not that I would necessarily choose it over free food because
given the choice.
Yeah, given the choice, it just obviously depends. But as far as just how it tastes,
Yeah.
Really expensive food. Like there are a couple of times I've gone to restaurants that I had no business being at.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even want to just take this card. Go. I don't even want to see it.
Yeah.
Just don't even tell me what it is. Give yourself 20%, and we're good.
Yeah.
And the food was amazing.
Yeah.
So I think that tastes better, but I think it's a bad decision.
So my thing is, I think free food tastes better because I always feel guilty spending a lot of money on food.
Yeah, but that doesn't affect the taste.
I know, but I can't enjoy it.
Oh, so
like
that's
I'm
what
eating
you
like
mean.
a $50 steak or whatever. I
Yeah.
don't know. If I'm eating a $50 steak, I'm like, oh, like every bite, I'm like, that was $3.
Yeah.
Like I don't like that. It hurts me to
sure.
eat it. I don't like it.
That's the difference.
I feel like I'm just throwing food away.
Yeah, it once again probably a bad decision to spend $50 on a steak unless your income can support that. Maybe bad decision. Still, I think a $50 steak probably generally tastes better.
Better than free tuna fish sandwiches from Jimmy John's?
If given the choice, I'd probably take the free tuna fish. And also, not all free food is equal either, by the way.
No,
There's
is
free
true.
fruit in the
Yeah.
garbage can, but it doesn't mean I'm going to take that.
True. No, I love free food. And I hate throwing food away. So, like, I'm a member of the Clean Plate Club.
Same.
And frequently, I'm eating food off my kids' plates.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I don't want to throw it away.
I was say I'm a member of the Clean Plates Club.
Yeah. The whole house. They
Yeah.
just scrape it onto Jesse's plate.
I probably, and I don't think this is an exaggeration, in the last 20 years, I have probably eaten 500 cold chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like they were
And how
done. There's
long?
like 2 left on their
How long? What was the time?
20 years. Like,
Oh, I've done more than that. Easily. I'm thinking 200 a year.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're beating me on that one. So
I do have more
Oh,
kids.
here's
so.
a fun question.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is the most expensive meal you have ever bought?
For us, I think one time when we went to Vegas, we went to a really, really nice place. And I think we spent a lot of money there. I can't remember how much it was, but it was like a high-end steak place.
yeah, you know, I can't even. I don't even know. I'm not one to spend.
We went to a steakhouse the other day, but we went during happy hour.
Yes.
And it was half price appetizers and $1 off drinks.
Come on.
So, like, our meal was like $35. I'm like, this is great.
All right, Jason. I went to.
You're done with that.
I'm so done with this. I went to. I went on what my kids called a man date with Farmer Bob.
Oh, yeah.
on
yeah.
Sunday night.
Yeah, you guys
So,
do that.
I was like, I don't know what I should wear. You know, at the end of the night, he
You
dropped
change
me
your
off.
outfits 2 or 3 times.
And I'm like, you know, when I say goodbye, I'm like, I know I'm not supposed to kiss him. I know that.
Yeah.
I know I'm not supposed to
That's
kiss
a
him
given.
goodbye.
Yeah.
Is it weird to shake his hand? Give him a pat on the back?
Fist bump.
We just kind of grunted at one, and that was it.
That's
you
how
know?
Farmer Bob talks in general.
Yeah.
Just
So
grunts.
it was, it was awkward. But what we did though was we went to go see Jordan Peterson
Oh.
speaking at the Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
So this is crazy. There had to be 6,000-7,000 people there, something like that. I don't know, maybe more. I'm not good at knowing how many people are in a crowd.
The hockey rink.
It's where they play hockey.
Yeah.
And it was, well, they didn't fill up. Like, he was speaking up front, so all the bleachers behind him were
Was the
empty.
ice still there?
No, we were on the floor. They had something on top of the ice or whatever.
I think they should do Jordan Peterson on ice.
Oh, come on. He's Canadian. I'm sure he's a great skater.
How funny would that be?
He's probably a really good skater.
Skating around, he's doing his thing.
So there are so many people there. It's funny because I've gone to hockey games before, and walking into Nationwide Arena in the same place that I've walked in before, the vibe walking into a hockey game versus the vibe walking into a Jordan Peterson speech.
It's a little bit different.
It's a totally different feel. So calm. Everybody's just, a lot of people dressed up. I think they're trying to impress Jordan is what it is. And
you're hoping for that meet and greet after.
You're hoping for that meet and greet, and he's like, you know what? I like that. I like that tweed. I like it. Why don't you come on tour with me?
corduroy?
Did we just become best friends? Yup. So, I would say it was 80% male.
Yeah.
20% female. And of the 20% female, I would say that 95% of those females were one female with a guy.
Yes.
So a girl that got drugged there with, by her boyfriend or husband, who probably maybe wasn't crazy about being there in the first place. Yeah. Maybe she likes the fact that her husband likes Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
But,
So very few single ladies.
So, no, but I literally sat down and there's nobody next to me, and you had that thought, like, maybe I'm going to have a free seat.
Yeah.
And this lady sat down next to me. She was... I believe she was single. She was bigger than Jesse.
Ooh.
And but we had a lot of fun. She was like
was she? Were you sitting so close that there was touchage?
Yeah, it was. I was. Yes, my whole right side touched her the entire time. Yeah, but it's okay. We had fun. We had. She was. She's a black lady. And, black people, one of the things I love about black people is, like, in movie theaters.
Expressive.
They're very expressive. Yeah. So the show starts, the show or whatever it is, a guy walks up with a classical guitar, and he plays a guitar for, like, 10 minutes. And he's doing all of this classical guitar work and stuff. It sounded really cool. And then he puts down his classical guitar and he pulls out his electric. Uh-huh. And she goes, "Oh, he's getting jazzy now." That's what she says. She's like, "He's getting jazzy." And so he played Interstellar. It was awesome. Yeah. Like, it was so cool. And then that finished. And then a couple commercials came on. So one thing that Bob and I have figured out is this is church. We just went to church.
Yeah.
Because it opened up with music.
Yeah.
And then 2 advertisements.
Your announcements.
This is the offering. Because he wants us to spend money on these apps and university thing that he's selling. So it starts off with music, and then there's an offering, and then there's a message. So, but during the announcements, like, Jordan is on there talking, whatever, and she's like, "He is so handsome." That's what she said. I was like, you know what? I don't disagree. I do not disagree. He's a good-looking guy. You said that to her? No, but we said a lot of things. I don't remember everything I said, but so, and then Jordan gets up. And hello, does his whole thing, and then he just puts up Genesis chapter 12, verse 1, and he just starts talking. And for an hour and a half, he read and talked about Genesis 12, 13, and 14. He read all 3 chapters on some level, and talked about it and how it's important in the world and the way that we view the world. And
so for those of us who might not know, I mean, I know what Genesis 12, 13, 14 is, but there might be some people in the room. Genesis
is a book that's in a collection of books called the Torah.
The Pentateuch?
Well, that's your Protestantism coming out, Jason. The Torah would be the Hebrew nation would call it, and the Torah is a part of another larger collection of books called the Old Testament. And what we call the Old Testament, they would just call it the Hebrew Bible. And then that is a part of even another bigger book called the Christian Bible that we call the Old Testament. So Genesis is the first book of the Bible.
Is Maccabees in it?
Maccabees is not. It's in the Catholic Bible.
Oh.
But not.
Part of the Apocrypha?
Well, it just depends. It depends.
Because there's New Catholics and Old Catholics.
Yes. And then, and what a specific Jewish person, they hold the Torah as above.
Is Maccabees in the Torah?
No.
Are
no,
you
the
sure?
Torah is the first 5 books.
Oh.
It's the law. It's the
I thought you
books
said
of
the
Moses.
Torah was the Old Testament.
No, you weren't listening, but that's okay.
No, what's Genesis 12, 13, and 14?
They're chapters.
No, I get that. I understand that.
Oh,
What's
I see.
it talk about?
Oh.
I mean, I know what it says.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just want to know if what you said.
It's about Abraham.
Yeah.
So Abraham, yeah.
Father of
That
many
guy.
nations.
Uh-huh.
That guy.
So yes, he was called out of the land of Uz, and which is like, why would you leave Uz? Because it's such a cool place.
Yeah.
It just talks about him and how he navigated that, and how God called him to be a blessing to the nations, and how he lied about his wife, being his sister, and it was really interesting, very deep, very thought provoking. He talked a lot about sacrifice. It was really, really good. And then at the end, he took questions that people had already written in beforehand, and he answered a couple questions that people had, and he said, thank you, and he left. And it was about 2 hours of him talking, all said and done, and then everybody quietly got up and walked out. They clapped. At the beginning when he walked up, everybody stands up and claps, and Bob looks at me. He's like, "Are we doing this?" I was like, "Yeah, I think we're gonna do it, Bob."
Were the concession stands open? Did
Yeah,
you get
concession
nachos?
stands were open. There was a guy next to me, 2 things over, drinking a Miller Lite.
Oh yeah, come on.
So yeah, I mean, it was all open.
I would have loaded up with nachos.
People
and
were
hot
eating
dogs
popcorn,
and,
nachos, all
Come
of
on.
that stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Bob had a coffee. He got a Tim Hortons coffee, which seemed
At
more appropriate.
Nationwide?
Yeah,
Or he brought
they
it
sell
in.
coffee.
What?
Tim Hortons
Tim Hortons?
at Nationwide at a hockey game?
Were they doing it because he's Canadian?
No, I've gotten a Tim Hortons coffee at a coffee game before.
Oh. At a coffee game.
Coffee game, yeah.
Have you ever been to a coffee game?
They do it at the coffee shop down here.
Yeah,
all the time.
It's a lot of fun. It's like
Decaf versus regular.
Yeah, regular always wins. It's like the Bud Bowl where Budweiser used to always win. So anyway,
It's kind of like capture the flag mixed with Legos. It's a complicated thing.
I couldn't expect you to understand it. Anyway, I've actually also had a coffee at a hockey game, coincidentally. So, which is a great thing because it's kind of cold in there and you got your coffee. It's just great. I just love it. So anyway, I just wanted to report that I went to the Jordan Peterson speech
with a mandate.
It's leading up to his book called We Wrestle with God. So. And then he said he's got another book coming out after that because he was going to write a chapter about the Gospels, and he realized they're deeper than he thought they were.
Really? Huh.
So he's going to write a whole book on the Gospels.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I texted Dan. I sent him a screenshot of the Jordan Peterson schedule, and I was like, that was a couple weeks before.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, yeah, Bob got us tickets. And I was like, oh. Because I was like, because I was like, we should go to this. And he's like, oh, yeah, Bob and I are going. I'm like, oh.
It was
okay.
Awkward. It was awkward.
It was real awkward.
Yeah.
Our text conversation just kind of ended after
Kinda
that.
trailed off.
Because you really wanted to be the third wheel.
Well, I didn't know Bob was going. My thought was like, oh, Dan and I can go on a mandate to this thing.
Yeah.
And I find out he's taken.
If you'd have bought me tickets, before Bob, then could have been me and you.
So-
Bob has more funds to do that.
Ask him to prom first,
Yeah.
Yeah, Sadie Hawkins dance. So anyway, I don't have much more to say. I actually really enjoyed it. I do like Jordan Peterson. I think he's a force for good in the world, and I'm glad he's doing what he's doing.
And you and Bob did not kiss.
No,
He cannot confirm nor deny.
we definitely did not.
Have you ever kissed a man?
I think I kissed Jad on the cheek once.
That's awkward.
It was a joke.
Dan and I almost kissed one time.
Yeah, I've almost kissed
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Yeah. Just making me feel less and less special as the night goes on. Breaking my heart over here.
The one that got away.
So, it was a lot of fun, and it was. I don't know that I'm like, oh, I want to go again, but I'm glad I experienced it once.
Okay.
So,
July 20th.
okay,
This is a very important date.
all right.
Released today, the information, the announcement. July 20th, this is Saturday. Jake Paul is fighting Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw that.
This is going to be awesome.
Boxing?
No, it's not.
Boxing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not going to be awesome.
Who's going to win?
Jake Paul.
No.
What is Jake Paul's fighting background? Is he a boxer?
He's pretty good, actually.
At boxing
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
MMA?
yeah,
Boxing.
Okay.
He's a YouTube guy.
How old is he?
Young,
He's
20-something.
25.
Around my age.
Yeah.
How big is he?
He's pretty good size.
Yeah.
So he's going to beat Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
I know, but I really don't think so.
I think we have a romanticized view of Mike Tyson that doesn't probably match whatever 60-year-old
Did you
Mike
see him
Tyson is.
against, was it Vander Holyfield?
Like originally?
No. Like a couple
Recently,
years ago.
Yeah,
Well,
it was
you
like
know,
2 or 3
George.
years ago or something.
How old was George Foreman when he won?
He was old.
He was maybe as old as Mike Tyson is now.
Yeah.
So
Mike Tyson
just-
here's the thing with Mike Tyson. He was super duper famous at age 18. And I think we forget, like most of these boxers, they rise up and it takes them years to get to
Lennox
that point.
Lewis did. Yeah, it took him forever.
Took him forever to reach that point. Mike Tyson was so popular so quickly. And we remember him from the
he
late
was
80s.
the most explosive thing ever.
So how can you Google search how old is Mike Tyson right now?
Yeah, that's
I'm saying like 54.
Yeah, I bet it's something
Yeah.
like that.
I'll bet.
The problem that I have with it is that, one, Jake Paul's so much younger.
57.
57, man.
He's so much younger. He's going to run circles around Tyson. And when Jake Paul beats him, obviously it's not going to tarnish Mike Tyson's legacy, but it's going to give Jake Paul more attention than I want him to have.
I feel like Mike Tyson, though, can box him. So boxing is different. You say he could run around. It's different than like MMA and other things. Like you can keep him at a distance, and he can outbox him. I think my guess is that Jake Paul's best case scenario is to take Tyson out as quick, like just
No.
overpower
I
him.
bet it's the opposite. Endurance. You
think
wait
that-
him out.
You think that's what he's going to do?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a 30-year difference between the two.
I
30
think
years.
Tyson's going to keep him at a distance, and he's going to wait for his moment, and he's going to try to get him in one shot. But Tyson is not who he used to be, obviously.
No. So this is going to be live on Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
It is very cool.
I hope that happens.
I hope it happens,
more
too.
live sporting events
Yeah.
on streaming services.
Yeah,
that I already have.
or access to.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm actually really. It just released today the announcement for it.
Okay.
So I'm really looking
What
forward to
July 20th? You said
July 20th.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'll be around.
Maybe we should have like a
live
Loud
show.
Road Radio live
Definitely.
stream.
We could probably do it upstairs here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do that. Just don't
Stella,
tell
you're
my
gonna have
wife.
to log into Netflix.
Yeah. And you can just go ahead and stay logged in because you just never know when we might do it again.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I really am.
Is it possible to break normal MO and do the Netflix suggestion early, because we might end up talking about something.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Netflix, watch these shows of those. Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus. Netflix, watch these shows with us. Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus. Or maybe Amazon Prime or something like that, like YouTube, or we don't want to put a
Jason,
box
what's your
around
Netflix
what you
suggestion
watch,
of the week?
so
My
you never
Netflix
know.
suggestion of the week is called Old. It is an M. Night Shyamalan movie. I believe right now it's on Amazon Prime. So the basic storyline is a family goes on vacation. They do one of the excursions where they take them out to a beach. They drop them off. And on this beach, it's a weird time bubble where they age very, very quickly.
Oh,
So they live a whole life in one day.
do they know that it's happening that fast?
They don't know what's going on until they're into it, and then they realize that crazy stuff, like things are happening very, very quickly.
Okay.
Someone dies like right away because they were already old. Like someone was pregnant and they gave birth immediately, and then this baby ends up being a teenager. Like everything advances so quickly.
Okay, so it's happening for them fast too. It's
Yes.
not a situation where they
Yes.
entered.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's. I like M. Night. I like his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is in that M. Night world, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally cool with. I like his stuff. Did you saw it, right?
I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was good. I think it was very good.
Different.
It was different.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
M. Night is the new
Alfred Hitchcock.
Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah.
He wants to make movies that make you think.
Right. And for the most part, I don't like movies with green screen. I don't. I just want. My favorite movie of the types of movies that you could have is a single set because the storytelling has to be good to carry the movie. You know,
I have not seen the new Dune yet. I was going to see it on Monday. Did you see it?
I did.
I don't.
Mine.
Is okay. Well, you can talk about it.
Okay.
But don't give me too much away.
spoiler alert. The
My
books have been
Netflix
out for
suggestion
40
of the
years.
week is on
Don't tell me how it ends.
Dune 2.
There's like 82 Dunes. There's an endless
Dune
series.
2
of books.
just came out.
Yeah, it's part 2 of 1, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
The books have been out forever.
yeah, I know, and I've read the book, but I don't want to know what they did with the movie because they
okay.
could have departed from the book.
Okay.
This guy. Anyway, my Netflix suggestion, I'm like 90% sure, is found on Hulu,
Okay.
and it is a documentary called The Mission. Now, I don't watch news. Okay, so
It's
I
obvious.
didn't.
It's very obvious.
I didn't know that
There was
this happened
there was a catastrophe in Ohio.
Yeah.
Not that long ago. You know nothing about it.
in Ohio.
East Palestine.
I thought you were talking about Palestine, like the Middle East.
No.
Oh,
No, it's Ohio. There's a train derailment.
didn't affect me. I live by many trains, and they seem to be fine. So I don't watch the news. And I mentioned this to my son. He's like, "Yeah, I know about that." And I was like, "Oh, okay." It's called The Mission. It's about a missionary named John Chow who traveled kind of subvertly to the North Sentinel Islands, to the last unreached people group. Like nobody has ever made it onto this island without dying. Throughout history, people have tried to.
Well, obviously they did at one
Well,
point.
yes, those people live there. They live. The Sentinelese people live there, and every time someone tries to, like, someone flew a plane low over the island, and there are like 1,000 spears in the bottom of the plane.
Whoa.
Like, these people are crazy violent, and there have been people that have tried to approach them, and they spear them like immediately. And the general thought is they've got this sense that these people carry disease.
Yeah.
They want to do stuff to us, and
Yeah.
and so they're very violent
Yeah.
people. So John Chow is an American Christian.
Where are these?
It's close to India.
India.
Okay.
And what do they speak language-wise?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, I mean, they've heard, like, a couple people have been close enough to hear them shout things, but they don't know what the language is. Like,
Okay.
so it's an unknown language.
Okay.
Nobody knows anything about their history, the people group. It's crazy.
Yeah.
John Chow is an American. He is a Christian. Well, I think he originally, though, was from Canada, but then he went to Oral Roberts
Okay.
to go to college.
Yeah.
And he decides he wants to be a missionary. He finds out about this island, and he says, "I'm going to go preach the gospel to these people." And so he spends his whole life he spends years, I don't know, like 5 to 10 years or something, preparing for it, like learning wilderness skills and all of this sort of thing, and doing research on missions work and how to reach unreached people and things like that. And so he hires a boat he somehow gets over there in the area, and then hires this boat, pays these pirates to drive him to the island, or to whatever, drive him.
I don't know. Sail?
They went sailing. I guess drive him. Take him to the island by boat, and so he gets out, and I think he's on a kayak at first, like off of the boat, and then he goes and he's like, waving to the people, and he's trying to greet them, trying to show that he's a friend or something. And immediately this kid, I think, released an arrow at him. Yeah, it was an arrow, and hit him in his Bible. And the Bible's got this big hole in it. And then he gets back on the boat and then goes back to the pirates and says, "I'm going to go back tomorrow and try again."
Yeah.
And then he goes back tomorrow and tries again, speared to death. So, like, immediately.
Wow.
And so they later they found, like, a flyover saw his body on the island, and then they saw the locals, like, burying it or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's a crazy story.
Yeah.
It's about this guy named John Chow and his legacy now that he has about going to this unreached people group.
Is there more to this, or that's it?
I mean, that's pretty much it.
So has anybody still been to this island?
No,
I would go.
So India it protects the island. So as far as India is concerned, who they own the island, they're saying it's illegal. We're not going to let you go on the island.
I gotcha.
So in order to do it, you have to do it illegally, as far as India is concerned.
Okay, so if you were to approach this island,
Yeah.
what would be your tactic?
So
I have a thought.
So everybody that has gone and has been, reversed from the island, it seems to be mostly white people.
Okay.
So I would send someone who looks as much like them as possible, and I would have him dressed like them, and I think that's your best case scenario. So John Chow wanted to bring gifts, so he that's what his idea was, like, I'll give you gifts, and so he would try to leave things or something, but they weren't having it. They're not interested in the gifts.
So here's what I would do.
Yeah,
I would get upwind from him,
okay,
and start brewing movie theater popcorn,
okay,
and let that smell go across the island. These people will be going nuts. Like, they've never smelled movie theater popcorn before.
Okay.
It's one of the most delicious smells ever.
Okay.
Like, hey, what is this?
Yeah.
This smells good.
Yeah.
That would be the way to go.
Maybe a Burger King. You could
a flame broiled.
Yeah, I love the way a Burger King smells.
Yeah.
Don't you love driving by a Burger King?
Yeah.
It smells great.
It does smell great.
It smells way better than it tastes.
Of course, but that's not the point of this.
No, I think you get something that smells really, 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 really good, and you get upwind and let that wind drift.
Yeah.
And it's going to cue some senses that they didn't even know they had.
Yeah. So it's an interesting story, and it sparks a debate. It's a National Geographic documentary, but I thought it was pretty even-handed.
Yeah.
I really did. I thought they represented this guy well, but they also had another kind of perspective on the documentary that said this is not a good thing. These people obviously don't want you there.
Yeah.
And they actually had a guy who was a missionary who did the same thing at some kind of Indian group in South America, I think, and he spent 15 years with these people, learned their language, learned how to communicate with them and to them, and he said at the end of the day, once he could communicate about Jesus, they're like, Jesus, so you know him? And he's like, yes, I know him. It's like, well, have you met him? What? Well, I don't know, I don't know him. And they're like, well, so could he come here? Or well, no, he can't come here. Well, where is he now? Well, he's not here now. And so they just kept on asking questions, and then they just laughed at him like, we don't this guy does nothing for us. Yeah. And so this guy then, through this process, lost his faith. Now he's not even a Christian.
Wow.
And he's basically on a mission to say these unreached people groups, in his experience, he said, I did more harm to these people than I helped them.
Yeah, I don't know.
He said, I showed up, and he said, I brought them a way of life. I exposed them to something that made their lives worse. He said they were better before I got there, and I think
debatable.
It is debatable,
Yeah.
and it's an interesting debate.
So I think we heard a guy speak once.
Yeah.
That
Nate Saint. So they talked about him.
Okay.
So John Chow, Nate Saint, it was the one that died. But
cannibalized.
Well, maybe, I don't know. He was certainly killed. But
Then his son and his wife went back.
yes, and then his wife ended up. And there's a great documentary about that. I think it's called Through the Gates of Splendor.
Yeah.
But it's a really interesting documentary about that. And they made a movie about it that was actually pretty good.
We heard the son speak, right?
We heard his son speak.
Yeah.
Yes. And his son came to our Bible school, and he came with the guy that killed his dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like him and this guy are there.
We're
and
up on stage.
And they were up on
Yeah.
stage. And I remember they wanted to show off what this guy could do, this local Indian from South America. And he had like a blow dart thing,
Yeah.
and it was a big auditorium, and there was like a balloon on the other side of the auditorium, and he went and knocked and hit the balloon. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it was just cool that this guy now is traveling with the guy that killed his father, and they're like best friends.
Yeah.
And
I'm 99% sure he was cannibalized.
okay, well,
the
maybe.
dad, yeah.
But John Chow was like, that was like an inspiration to him.
Yeah.
Like that story was like, it meant a lot to him.
Well,
and turns out
he failed. Yeah.
So the only difference is nobody's following him right now, but people will try forever. People are going to keep on trying.
Is there anything that would get you to do that? I mean, other than the voice of God.
Well, that's it.
No, so would you consider at age 85?
Oh, sure,
It's
I
like
hear
I've
you.
lived a long,
Let's go
healthy
take a
life.
shot.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah. I could see a situation in which I would do that.
It's like, hey, I mean, I got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I've lived a full, healthy life. Let me go talk to these
Let me go
crazy
talk
people.
to them, and if they spear me to death, they spear me to death. I guess I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of infrastructure just getting there
Yeah,
because you have
figure
to
it out.
subvert the Indian
Yeah.
authorities and everything. So, Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It sparks an interesting debate.
Need like a D-Day invasion,
from a
where they
Christian-
come with the
well, they
tanks.
certainly that would have been the old way to do it. They call that colonization.
So that's good or bad?
Well, depends on who you talk to.
I
That's
think it's a
another
good
debate.
thing.
Jordan Peterson.
America's better now than what it was before.
Jordan in his speech, Jordan Peterson, he made the statement. He said, whether you like it or not, this Judeo-Christian value has shaped the culture of the countries, the only countries on the planet that people are voluntarily moving to.
Yes.
The only countries on the planet that people are voluntarily moving to have been shaped by this message.
Yeah.
Right? Like that means something.
It does mean something.
That means something. So it's an interesting debate, even from a Christian perspective, what's the best way to witness to people? Like, do you just start preaching, or do you just show up and try to help them?
Movie theater popcorn.
That, it's not a
That's
bad
what
way
I
to
would
start.
do. I think that would be a great way to do it.
Movie theater popcorn and free tuna fish sandwiches.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I'm sure they eat tuna.
No one has tried. Yeah, they
live
got
on
a lot
it,
of tuna, those guys. Yeah. So
Speaking of religion, do you have more to that?
no.
Okay. I had a dream last night. And in my dream, Estelle married a Muslim man and did not want to tell me, and she was hiding it from me. That she was married to a Muslim man.
Stella, do you have anything to say?
When I found out about it in my dream, I found out about it, I was furious.
Yeah.
And I went to approach her. I'm like, what are you doing? You can't marry a Muslim.
Right.
Do you know who these people are?
Right.
And then I woke up.
Maybe he was a peaceful Muslim?
Well, he really likes soccer in the dream.
Well, maybe he was just culturally Muslim.
Yeah. Or ethically.
Maybe he wasn't like jihad.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Listen.
We don't know.
We don't know. Stella is the only one that knows,
Would
obviously.
you rather a Muslim or a Mormon?
Oh, that's a good question.
Mormon all day.
Okay.
Really?
Yes.
You ever had any
Depends on the kind of
interactions?
I
with
like
Mormons?
some Mormons. I know some that are really, really good people.
Okay.
That's the problem.
Let's add another layer to this. What about a Jehovah's Witness?
No. Speaking of that, listen.
Okay.
My mother-in-law, she's staying with us right now.
Yeah.
Okay? She answered the door. I'm at work. She answers the door. Jehovah Witness at the front door.
Yeah.
Talks to her for like an hour. She said, yes, I'll come check out your thing, and took my kids to the witness temple. I am
How do you feel about that?
Dude, I've never been so angry in my life.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Grandma, what are you doing taking the kids to the
She's trying to
Jehovah
get 'em
Witness thing?
saved.
It's completely
Did any
absurd.
of them convert?
Yes, she did.
Oh, gee.
I am furious. Why would she do this?
Yeah. Well, maybe she's never really heard it explained that well.
I don't know, but I don't know.
Are you kicking her out?
No, she'll leave whenever she leaves. But
And then she'll just go knock on some other doors and
I don't know. I usually don't get worked up. Like, listen, you live your life, you do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
But when you involve my kids into it, no, we're not doing this.
Yeah. Right.
So,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know what to do. I haven't told Shelby yet because she told me privately.
Right.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, the kids told me.
This could be a big problem for you.
The kids and her were all sitting in the living room, and they're just we just
Yeah.
got back from the thing, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't even know how to tell Shelby.
Yeah. That's tough.
So I don't know.
Jesse, do you have a Netflix suggestion of the week?
yeah, we started watching House. It's about the doctor. His name's Dr.
Oh yeah,
House.
yeah, I like that show.
And
He's British.
is he?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just good. I kept seeing clips of it on like YouTube or whatever.
Isn't he the new Doctor Who?
I think so.
No. Okay, I might be making.
Oh, you're thinking Benedict Cumberbatch.
No, but he's not a. Doctor
Anyway,
Who.
it's good. I like how crass he kind of is, and
Yeah.
and you find
Sarcastic.
out though he's in episode like 3, there's a little bit of depth that it starts to kind of bring out.
Sure, that's the
It's-
way it goes.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Dune 2.
Yeah.
So I don't want to know details. I have a couple of questions though.
Okay.
So first of all, rate Dune 1 out of a scale of 1 to 10 in your opinion.
Honestly, it was like a 4.
Okay.
Really?
There was
Okay.
too much build
That's
up.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
So Dune 2?
Like an 8.
Really?
Yeah. It was
Well,
really good.
so I would have rated Dune. I haven't seen Dune 2 yet. I would have rated Dune 1 as a 9 personally. I loved it.
See, I just thought there was too much build up in the first one.
Had you read the books?
Nope.
Yeah. Well, okay.
That's probably why.
Checks out.
Luddite. So, but you liked it.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
Was there a gay scene?
No.
Not. Oh, okay.
No.
Good. All right.
He would have liked it better.
There was in the book. So.
Oh, well, they did not do that.
I can't wait. They didn't show it in the first one. I was like, I'm really looking forward to it.
So there's not even a kind of a gay theme in it at all?
There's
Oh,
nothing
that's interesting.
woke
They
about
took
the
the-
movie at all.
No. Here's the issue, Preston. Is in the book, it's not woke. I mean, the guy that's gay is bad, and it's painted as this guy's disgusting.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And so I'm not surprised that they didn't put it in the movie, because it's really painted as like a really perverted, this guy's gross kind of a thing.
It is gay.
Well, yeah. So, but I was curious about that.
I have a feeling I know which character you're talking about.
Yeah.
But they didn't go that route with that character.
Okay.
I think I know who you're
All right.
talking about.
Okay. Cool. But you liked it.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I was going to see it on Monday, but things got crazy. So
Going back to the old thing really quick. Just not the movie, but the question of old. What is old? We were driving down the road the other day, kids in the car. I said something like, we were talking about some of my friends, like Jess, she's been on the show, and my friend Josh. And I said, well, we're all kind of like, I don't know, we're young adults-ish. I said, we're not young adults, but we're not old. And Teddy, I think it was Teddy, he goes, but you're middle-aged. I'm like, I'm not middle-aged. He goes, you're middle-aged. I'm like, how old do you think middle-aged is? And we start doing the math. Turns out I'm middle-aged.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
I feel like middle-aged is mid-50s.
How old are you going to live?
Well, I don't. So here's
So
the
the
thing.
average age of death right now is 76. Half of that is 38. At 38, you are middle-aged. 38.
I hear you, but I still feel like 55 is middle-aged.
Yeah, and then when you're 55, it'll be 60.
But you said you're going to live to like 150 or something, right? Like
That's my plan.
Yeah.
I mean, the average age of death, though, I'm just basing it off that.
yes, currently.
So, currently.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Did you see that Facebook went down briefly?
Yeah, well, I heard about it.
In my brief time on
Yeah.
Twitter, I saw Elon Musk
Yes.
post,
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
reading this, it's because our servers are not down.
Yeah,
That
that's
was-
fantastic.
That was pretty good.
Elon is great at that.
Yeah, I followed him. He was one of the people that I followed.
Yeah, well, they force you to.
Oh, do they? Okay.
You sign up for Twitter. It's like, what was it, MySpace? Tom from
Yeah,
MySpace.
my boy.
Or it's like when you get an Apple device, you're going to get a U2 album.
I hate that.
It's just going to happen.
I hate that.
I feel like that was a huge swing and miss for U2. Like they made
Yeah.
a lot of people who might have ended up liking them hated it.
Yes.
They thought it was going to be such, we'll
Get
just
this
give
off my
everybody our
phone.
album for free. Everyone's going to love it. Like, no, we don't love it.
No, I don't. How dare you give me an album? I don't want to listen to this.
Eric and I got in a huge fight the other day over how many syllables the capital of Japan has.
J. 1.
Okay. Do you know what the capital city of Japan is?
Yeah.
How many syllables does it have?
3.
4.
4? You say 3.
Yeah.
What do you say?
3.
3.
Yeah.
What do you say? Say it.
Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Yeah.
So, Tokyo.
Yeah.
So I said Tokyo, and she goes, why'd you say it that way? And I was like, Tokyo? And she's like, that's not how you say it. And I was like, how do you say it? And she goes, it's Tokyo.
That's 3.
She was saying Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Oh. So
Tokyo. She goes, that's how it's pronounced, like properly. And I was like, no, it's Tokyo.
Tokyo.
It's Tokyo. And she goes, no, and it was a major fight. I Googled it.
Yeah.
I was right.
Yeah.
And for the first time, I think, ever in our marriage, she admitted that I was right and she was wrong. And I've not let her forget it since then. So I'm glad that everybody agrees, because I mean, she looked at me like I was the craziest person, like
Yeah.
I had just
Tokyo.
said them like the Earth was flat or something.
It'd be like trying to get Toyota into 2.
Toyota. So yeah. Anyway, and that's not anything in particular, but I'm glad to know.
Making fun of the Japanese accent is great.
I got no problem. They want to make fun of our accent.
Yeah.
Have at it,
Yeah.
please. I would love that. That would make me laugh.
Yeah. It's Mike Myers.
Here I am, an American, or I don't know what they would say.
They like open their eyes.
Have you seen that? I mean, what does he say?
My
in that
name's
thing?
Kyle, and I have a 401k.
Yeah, something like that. But he says something. He says something else too. Hi, my name is Kyle. I have a 401k and something else. It's really funny. Yeah. I love that. That's,
Yeah.
Please do that. And I'm not. I like the Japanese accent.
Yeah.
I'm very pro Japan
Yes, I'm pro Japan too.
since World War II.
Post World War II.
Yeah. So Yeah.
Oh
Whoa.
my gosh! Holy cow,
That's a show.
dude! I have stuff.
Listen, I got stuff too, but
We didn't even get to
you
the
know.
stuff. Okay.
We teased last week. Can you feel wetness? And then we never ended up talking about it. So that'll be next week. We're going to
We
talk
need to
about
get Patreon
wetness.
and do like bonus episodes. Jinx.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Patreon. Hey, listen, if someone wants to pay for us to do
Dude, all
Almost
podcasts
anything.
have Patreon.
Not all.
A lot of good ones. Yeah.
okay,
We don't.
That's why we need to jump on that bandwagon.
Jump
Sell
on that
some merch.
bandwagon.
Get people to pay us every month.
Listen. It's in the works. We're working on the merch stuff.
it'll
So.
be great. Yeah, we're going to have merch. So
I'm going to make a merch.
please do. All right, that's it. Anything else?
No. Oh, well, for real.
Yeah.
If you can, go to Spotify and just rate the show.
Yes. Oh yeah,
So
that's true.
Spotify, we're new on the platform as a podcast. We've been on Spotify forever, but if everybody listening could go to Spotify and just click the review,
and
give
we
us
opened
5
up.
stars.
We
Yeah.
started an entertainment conglomerate.
We did, yeah.
Yeah. Comet T Entertainment.
Yep.
So that's the name of there'll be other podcasts.
The parent company.
The parent company is Comet T Entertainment.
Preston, were you consulted about this?
I don't get paid enough to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. It
That's
took
fine.
us. It was about a 45-minute conversation at Panera where we finally. You don't want to hear the ones that we almost went with. It was crazy. So, all right. This is Dan signing off for Jason, reminding you to always keep your stick on the ice and never wear the blue sweats.
Sit, boo, sit. Good dog.
I've spoken.
Good night, Lauer Patch Kids. And especially you, the girl blob.
Oh, yeah.
Boy Blob's
girl
wife.
blob?
Yeah.
There's a girl blob?
Yeah. She calls herself Curry Blob, and all of her posts have to do with, what is that, Indian?
She's from India.
She's
Oh,
from
really?
India.
Huh. I wonder what
Maybe she
thinks
knows the
about-
island.
She might know the Sentinelese people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Girl Blob, right into the show.
Yeah.
And let us know what you know about the Sentinelese people.
Yeah.